This week has been a brilliant week for the Spurs Academy for two main reasons, really. Obviously, overall, the Spurs Academy, they qualified for the latter stages of the UEFA Youth League, winning 9-1, which is their record ever win against Slavia Prague earlier this week. But there's two main players who have just both achieved really good things this week. Luca Williams-Barnett, who I've been banging on about for I think over 6 months now. He scored 5 in that game. He's not a striker, by the way, as we know. He's a midfielder, more of a number 10. But scoring 5 goals from any position is crazy. He just gets better and better. So I want to discuss him in the video. But also Junai Byfield, who I think gets a bit less hype, but should be, for me, on the same level as hype as Williams-Barnett. Obviously, he's a centre-back, so those guys tend to get less hype. But he signed his professional contract this week with Spurs, which means we've locked down one of the most talented defenders in the country. This is not my Spurs hat on. This is known within the game that he is one of the most talented English centre-backs coming through right now, with a couple other players on his level. But he is really, really excellent. So I want to dive into him as well. Before I do start on those guys, I've got some news that I want to share, which is that I am full-time now. I am a full-time football content creator as of this week. So this is my job, which means that I need to be paid. So please get my subscribers up as much as possible. If you're watching without subscribing, please do subscribe. This really helps me. I live in London. It's really expensive. And I now don't have an income, which is obviously a crazy, crazy step for me. But I'm super excited. It means that I'm going to be able to bring so much more content, which is why, for example, I have time to do another video today. But also lots of other short form content on all my other platforms as well. So just going to be a really, really exciting time. So yeah, that's the news I wanted to share. Please make sure you share this video specifically as well. Like, comment, all of that stuff. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So before I speak on those two, I just want to give an honourable mention kind of shout, because Thompson also scored a hat-trick in that 9-1 victory. And while I don't think he's quite at the level of these two, I would say after those two, he is really, really showing good signs of potentially breaking through the first team as well. He is a left wing, proper modern winger who's able to cut inside and shoot or burst down the line. He's got that two-way threat, which I've always said is so important because it provides that unpredictability. 1v1s are really, really good. But what jumps out about Thompson for me is his efficiency and his precision in his shooting. And when he does get into those positions, he really wraps his foot, wraps the shots into the corners with power but precision as well. And he's a really, really smart finisher, as we've seen. He scored a hat-trick this week. Got that really good burst as well, which all wingers in the modern game will need. But you should be really excited for Thompson as well as these guys. So I thought I'd just give him a shout out because I'm really excited about him too. And yeah, so let's start with Williams-Barnett, because he's the one that's getting the headlines this week, as he should. 5 goals in the UEFA Youth League is crazy. I think it's clear to everyone now that this level is getting too easy for him. I don't think it's helpful necessarily for him. I don't think it's helpful for his teammates. He is getting to the point where he's just taken the mick, really. He is trying outrageous things. These things tend to come off a lot of the time as well, which is so great to watch. But I think for his development, he needs to be challenged. And a player who's not being challenged is a player who's not going to develop the right way. It's difficult because he's really young. So how far we want to push him at that age is a difficult one. We obviously are not able to loan him out of the country until he's 18. So any loan that we consider would have to be domestically. But he needs to be around first team environments now. And I'm really, really interested to see, because I love how he plays, his personality, his charisma, his arrogance on the pitch, to try these outrageous things, to get people off their seats. He is my kind of footballer, flary, just so natural, man. Like the ball, everything slows down when he gets the ball. He plays on his own speed. He'll be running like really, really quick, driving at the opposition back line, and then just stroke it into the back of the net as if everything's slowed down and he has the time to compose himself and just strike it into the corner, which the players that look like they're playing in slow motion at times, they're the very best players, you know. So that's just great signs. But I'm really interested to see how does his personality translate to a first team environment, because when players, especially out on loan, if he's going to go to the lower leagues, they're playing for their contracts, they're playing for their lives, their families' lives, if they get promotion, you know, they might get a big bonus, which is obviously going to help their family. I think the jeopardy just goes up and up and up. And I want to know how he can tread the line between being a really entertaining player, but also being super effective. And right now he's treading that line perfectly fine, but there is no jeopardy involved. So I want to see how he does show that at a first team environment. I back him to do it. I think the self-belief, the natural talent is there. But he will need to get used to the fact that if he tries things and they don't come off, where he could have maybe done a more simplified thing to have a better outcome, that might frustrate people. I'm probably not one of those people. I'm someone that really, really admires the fact that he's willing to try these things even when they don't come off. But most people in football are not necessarily going to take to that very well. So I want to see how he treads that line. I think there's some players who tread it perfectly. I think Cole Palmer, as I've compared before, is the perfect comparison. Cole Palmer and Williams-Barnett, they both are so smooth. The ability to take the ball on the half turn is just so easy for them. It's like one motion. The best players on the half turn, it's so smooth. There's no like mechanical kind of touch it, then turn. It's all in one motion, and Williams-Barnett is the perfect example of that. I want to just talk about how maybe long-term I see him being integrated. I think he is a player that is likely, forget all the other players on this board, obviously. I think he is a player who's likely to probably start out wide, and especially under a manager like Frank, who wants to be, you know, quite risk averse. I think giving a risky player the license to lose the ball in central areas is going to terrify Frank. So I think if he is to break into the first team at some point, we see with a lot of these number 10s, they start out wide because losing the ball out here is much less threatening. How I think he can really affect the game even when he does play out wide is, one, obviously his carrying ability is fantastic. His ability to drop shoulders is so good. He's obviously going to want to operate more in these zones. Now, he, as an athlete, he does look very good at that level, but I'm unsure, just because of his build, he's quite slim at the moment, whether that would translate to the Premier League level. I think down the line, I think athletically he's going to be absolutely fine. I think maybe at the moment, going up against, you know, the most physical of right backs in the league, he might not be able to be consistently getting around his fullback 1v1, which is okay. That's not what I'd really expect from him out there. I'd want him to come and kind of combine with players in central areas. Now, again, this is something we don't see enough from Williams-Barnett because he's too good for the level he's playing at. He doesn't need his teammates right now. And again, that is something I want to see more of when he goes to a higher level, when he goes to a first-team environment. It's like, how does he associate with players around him? Because he's more than capable of doing it, because his technical and intelligence levels are so high. But at the moment, he can literally pick the ball up from here, dribble past everyone, and tuck it in. Like, that is genuinely what he ends up doing. Or he does that, beats about 4 people, and then will spray it out wide. He's just finding it way too easy. So yeah, I think those things we'll need to see, but I don't have any concerns around it. I just need to see it and how he does play with other players more. And I've seen bits of it. Obviously, he's great in these tight areas at being able to combine with people when he does do it. But he doesn't need it enough at the moment, so you don't see that upside necessarily of him doing that. But yeah, I think overall, if we were going to see him in the side, I think it's going to be in this more central area, probably in off the flank, receiving, dropping shoulders, being able to then create from these zones. And I think his shooting is really strong. The ability to whip it into either corner, different types of techniques as well. When he does end up in front of goal as well, in close proximity, he's got the dink in his locker. He's got the open your body finish. He's got the reverse it to the near post. He's got all kinds of finishes, which is great at such a young age. Yeah, I think the main thing to note with Williams-Barnett is the fact that he needs to go up in terms of challenge. He's not being challenged enough. So that is the next step for him. So happy to see him continuing to score goals, but no player should be scoring 5 goals a game. It's just not, it's not useful for anyone. And I think his teammates are probably like, this guy's too good. They're just passing the ball and he just goes and does everything. And that is, that needs to kind of be put an end to, if that makes sense. And this is not a negative on anyone. This is not a negative point on anyone. This is sometimes just you have these freak talents who are this good that constantly need to be pushed. You know, Arsenal have one in Max Dowman. Lots of other clubs, Lamine Yamal. And I'm not saying he's of Lamine Yamal level. I'm not saying he could walk into Spurs' team right now, but he just needs to continue to be challenged, and that's really important for young players' development. Now we'll move on to Junai Byfield, who signed a professional contract. I think what tells us a lot about this contract is that the first team account tweeted it. Now, people might think that's stupid or whatever, but you'll see that a lot of these young players, when they get contracts, it's only posted by the academy page. But Luca Williams-Barnett, when he got his new contract, the first team page posted it. Now Junai Byfield's done it, the first team page posted it. So he's obviously seen as someone who's going to make the first team, highly rated within the club. And that's not a surprise. Junai Byfield's played for his country continuously. All the top kind of academy football followers really, really know what kind of talent Spurs have on their hands here. And the biggest compliment I can give to Junai Byfield is that I really struggle to find a weakness in his game. I've watched a lot of him. I just don't know what he's lacking as a modern defender. So I think let's start by just talking about Romero and Van de Ven, because I think he's on the ball. He's a very good combination of them both. So obviously we've got Romero's ability to just break lines with ease with his passing. So much disguise he puts on them. Just so able to kind of shape to go one way and then reverse the passes the other way. Just ridiculous on the ball. Ridiculous passing ability. And obviously we know with this guy, his carrying ability is just brilliant. He's able to charge up the pitch. He's able to, what I really like about him is when he is pressed, he's able to step across people and completely take them out the game. And I think that's such a key thing about a ball carrier. If they're able to, with their first touch it ahead of that defender so that their body's in between the marker and the ball, they're not going to touch them. They're completely out the game, and that's the best first touch you can make as when you're about to do a carry, because then you're carrying yourself. You've got no one on the side of you challenging you. You've got no one in front of you to beat. You're just able to progress the ball rapidly into the space, and Van de Ven's really, really good at that. What Byfield has is a bit of a combination of both of those things. He is so comfortable on both feet, which for passing ability is massive. He can play into both sides. He's got this pass in his locker as well. The big switch off both feet. Again, if you're both footed from centre back, oh my god, the angles it opens up for you is just, they're endless. And if you're both footed and good technically, which Byfield is, he spoke about in his interview when he signed this contract that he previously was a striker, so his technical ability is brilliant. That angles are endless. You can play to literally everyone on your team can receive a pass from you, and that is just so massive because it means you're impossible to press. Not impossible, obviously, but it's really difficult to press you. One note on his long passing, I think this is really nitpicking, is those passes can be a bit floaty. I love switches of play, and most coaches love switches of play where they're arrowed. It's hard and fast because that doesn't give the opposition time to settle into their shape while the ball is being played over. It doesn't give the opposition, let's say fullback, if you're playing it over here, time to read it, intercept it. You want to play those balls with pace. Obviously, not too much pace so that they're accurate, but I think that is one little nitpick I'd have. But Byfield also does the carrying stuff so well. Just like Van de Ven, he's able to cut across his opponent and drive into the centre. Again, being both footed really helps because he can carry it this way or he can carry it into kind of midfield areas because that angle is still favourable for him because he's comfortable on both feet. The other thing is that when he is pressed, he's got such good ball manipulation. Like he's Cruyff turning, he's feinting to go one way and then going the other way. He's got so many different kind of tricks to get out of pressure. And I know that's probably making the old heads who watch me get a bit nervous, because you don't want to see your centre-back Cruyff turning. But this is the modern game now, and Byfield is a modern defender. And he has been caught out a couple of times from it, but you'd rather see those things at youth level. They have that in their locker than not have it, because it means that he's comfortable being pressed, and most teams we play against are going to press our back four now. So yeah, so comfortable on the ball. Defensively, I think he's another one who suits an aggressive style. So you want him front-footed because he's quick. He can defend the spaces in behind. But one thing I really want to know about Byfield is how comfortable he is defending these kind of areas. You don't need to kind of babysit him and give him support when a winger's coming up against him. He's so kind of active, agile, balanced on his 1v1 defending, that it means that if he is dragged out here, he can be really, really effective at just stopping tricky wingers, really. He's strong, he's quick, but he's agile, which is really important, because, you know, Van der Ven, for someone who's strong and quick, struggles with these moments sometimes, because he's a big guy and he can't turn as quickly. Even though he can sprint very quickly, his turning speed isn't that of someone like Byfield, who's a little bit smaller, a little bit kind of more explosive. That being said, if we talk about Byfield's kind of integration, there's other defensive things I could talk about with him. I think he's good at defending his own box. I'd say that probably, like most modern defenders, isn't his bread and butter, but he's brave. He chucks his body on the line. He's got good defensive instincts. I think, as most defenders coming through now, they want to defend high up. They're coached to defend high up often. So that is the kind of style we'd want to put him in, but I think he's more uncomfortable at settling into his own block, low block as well at times if needed. I think what would be really interesting with Byfield is to see how he's integrated. He's made his debut. Has he made a competitive debut? He's definitely made a debut in the friendly. But I have a feeling, and I'd actually think about this at the moment, to be honest. I think this is something we should be considering right now. Is we're lacking fullbacks, and I think Byfield is more than good enough to play at fullback. His 1v1 defending, obviously, like I said, is brilliant. There's less risk involved. There's less need to command as you play fullback. It's more down to the players in the central areas. You can be part of a backline unit more, I think, at fullback, rather than being one of the main leaders. So I think it's good for a young player, and we've seen this before, you know, Sergio Ramos, for example, one of the best centre-backs of all time, came through as a fullback. Junai Byfield, I think, would really, really benefit from coming in at fullback. He's brilliant 1v1. He's quick. He's strong in those 1v1 duels as well. But his on-the-ball ability, both his carrying, his press resistance, but also his passing ability. I think you could really, really use him in the way that Porro has been used so far this season. And that is giving someone like Porro a much-needed rest. I think he could also do that on the left side. And then you have Spence doing this up and down. Whoever it is, we're lacking fullbacks right now. And I think Byfield is an in-club solution, especially, I hope we do sign one in January. But if we don't, Byfield should really be fast-tracked. I truly believe that. I think he's the most ready of Williams-Barnett, Mikey Moore, even Vuskovic, probably more first-team ready because he's done it. But I think Byfield could easily hack it at this level now. So I really hope that the club are looking at internal solutions for this. We are in a fullback crisis right now. I think Byfield will do a better job than someone like Ben Davies. So I hope they think about this, because it's a really good solution to a problem we have in the squad. But yeah, that's it on those two. If you did enjoy the video, please like it, comment down below what you'd like to see me do next. I'm going to be uploading probably double the amount that I have been previously, so look out for more videos. And yeah, recommend me someone or something to make a video on, and I will do whatever you guys need. Thank you for watching, and come on you Spurs.